Hello, New Wave of British Heavy Metal.com here. Today is the 26th of March 2024. Quick request as usual, please, and that's if I could ask you to subscribe to the channel, because that would be great and a big help. So click the button if you would. Today it's Caravan and In the Land of the Grey and Pink. Now, Caravan is a band which, during my 50 years or so of listening to proper music, Caravan's one of those bands that I've always intended to check out, though never got round to it. Well, that was until recently. And the same applies to the whole Canterbury Scene thing that was going on here in England, around about 1970 and a few years either side, which Caravan were one of the bands at the forefront of that Canterbury Scene, as it became to be called. But then a few days ago, I was talking to a friend of mine who's more into his prog rock than I am, and we got onto this topic, Canterbury, etc. And he suggested that, seeing as I'd not looked at Caravan before, I dipped my toe in, so to speak, and picked myself up a copy of this, in the Land of the Grey and Pink. So I have. I found a copy of the CD on Amazon for a very reasonable £6 and 99 English pennies, bargain, right? So click the order button, and duly arrived next day. And I must say, after giving it a good few spins, it is a jolly good listen. I would describe it typically traditional, charmingly genteel English prog rock of its time. Because let's not forget, this was originally released in 1971, like 53 years ago. Remarkable. Yes, it's proggy, but it also incorporates some jazzy, folky and trippy psychedelic elements. All very well composed and performed, I must say. And what I liked about it is it tends not to take itself too seriously, I thought. It's never boring. There's not too many twiddly bits going on, and it's not too far up itself like some prog rock tended to be at the time, didn't it? A bit too pretentious, but none of that applies here. The star of the show, in my opinion, is the keyboard player David Sinclair. I mean, what the man does on this album's sublimely remarkable, I think. His use of organ, piano and good old mellotron, it's marvellous. I would say it's very much his album, and forget the slight cliche, this is an album of two sides. Side one, we've got 4 trippy, poppy, proggy songs, all full of charm and humour, and some jazzy stuff going on, and so those excellent Sinclair keyboards that are just remarkable. Golf Girl, the opener, lyrically and musically fun. And apparently, according to the booklet, it's a ditty around Richard Sinclair meeting his future wife. It's very catchy. Winter Wine is a compelling 7 minutes or so, and again, keyboards fantastic. Love to Love You is rather trippy, and again poppy and quite lightweight. And it made me think, I don't know why, but it made me think of Spinal Tap and listen to the Flower People, right? I don't know why he did that. But anyway, then it's the title track, which is another poppy, proggy, fun number. It really fun listen, that side one. And then we go on to side 2. Oh yes, and this is where the big guns come out. A 22-minute magnum opus entitled 9 Feet Underground. Now, this is remarkable stuff. It's mostly instrumental, and David Sinclair letting loose in a compelling way, showing his prowess on that mixture of keys. And I'm not talking about fast, mazy synthesizer Rick Wakeman style runs. This is so well composed and paced and performed, and attention holding, nuanced, varied, and always interesting. Blimey, that's a collection of adjectives, isn't it? And the rest of the band, whilst David Sinclair's doing his stuff, the rest of the band give him the platform to be as creative and around it all, and it works well to astounding levels. Whilst it's mostly instrumental, there are some lyrical passages, but it's an astounding piece of music. It really is. I found that it drew me in more and more each time I listened to it, and it's tremendously progressive as well. Phenomenal piece of music. So, am I pleased that I spent £7 and 99 English pennies to pick this up? Yes, I am. Very well pleased. And from what I read about Caravan in the booklet notes, that this album wasn't a massive seller back in the day, but over the years has continued to sell steadily, and has got a bit of a cult status. And I can say, after getting my ears around it now, I think it's well worthy, and a fine example of what you might call an understated, typically English prog rock of the early 1970s. And it still sounds fresh today, 53 years later. Maybe now I've opened up to this Canterbury Scene malarkey a little bit. If the rest of it might be as good as this, maybe I should go out and buy some more. Why not? But in the meantime, that's Caravan and In the Land of the Grey and Pink. I think it's great. I'll put a link down in the description as always if you want to go and check it out. Please do subscribe to the channel before you go, because that would be marvellous. And as always, thanks for watching, thanks for listening, and take care.